5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Here we are, live from Parliament, New York. Hello, everybody. This is Alex Bennett, and this is the Ramble. Yeah, we go until, midnight tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting old with him. He's getting old with me. We're both getting old. Ladies and gentlemen, the harbinger of death, Larry Bubbles
the dark
Brown.
Angel.
The dark angel that is Larry Bubbles Brown. Hello, Dark Angel. How are you?
Hello. I'll be passing out death warrants today.
Oh boy. So what happens after we die? Do you know? 'Cause I've been thinking a lot about that lately.
I think it'll be just like it was before we were born. Nothing.
Yeah, but that scares me too. I can't understand what it was like never to,
It scares me too, and it just really, if that's true, it just really, life is totally pointless.
Well, I'm getting to that point where I'm beginning to believe that it is pointless. By the way, folks, you can tune out now, because we know where this is going. No, what I'm saying is that we're, it's we all think about what death, and the fact is the reason we have religion is because death exists. Okay, because people want to go believe in a God and they want to believe in a heaven, so that they can go to a better place. Right? I'm going to go visit Aunt Maud. I'm going to visit my mother who's been long gone. I'm going to be with Dad again. Right. Well, in a way, you're going to be with Dad again because he's lawn mulch, and now you're going to be mulch. Okay, but do you think there's a possibility there's something else? Something scientific.
I don't think there's anything scientific that shows that as of yet.
Well, we do have a thing where science is kind of improving string theory, and the fact that we may have several dimensions in which we exist. That there's something like up to 12 dimensions. And then there's a space between those dimensions that makes us unable to communicate with those other dimensions. Does it make sense so far? And this has been scientifically kind of proven that they believe it to exist. So you exist in another dimension, not exactly the same. Larry Brown in another dimension may well be a rocket scientist.
That would be interesting.
Or a world-renowned philanthropist. Or you might be a heroin addict.
We'll go with the latter.
But wait a minute. In that dimension, you may be a heroin addict, but in the next dimension, you may be a doctor. And in the next dimension, you might be a big movie star. I doubt that, but, and so you have all these dimensions. So my question is, if in fact you're dead in this dimension, does that mean you're dead in all the other dimensions?
That's a good question.
See, so if you believe scientific string theory and so on, the fact is that maybe we do exist in a lot of other dimensions, and we continue to exist in those dimensions. But this dimension sucks.
Yeah, that would be a good writer could come up with a screenplay for that. That'd be a very interesting movie.
Well, they deal in that in a lot of science fiction, about other worlds like Earth 2, Earth 3. It's just, I just don't know. I don't know what happens? I mean, we are energy. Does that energy just dissipate and go away and nothing happens with it? Or does that energy continue to vibrate? I mean, let's face it, we come here, we're born. I mean, here I am, I'm about to hit 80, so I'm thinking about this a lot, you know. And as I say, the Grim Reaper's standing over my shoulder. I think about this a lot. And, of course, a lot of people I know are dying, or like a dear friend of ours getting a stroke or whatever. And so, you know, like I'm facing this thing with the possibility of prostate cancer, okay, which at my age probably is not a death sentence, you know. It simply means I have prostate cancer, which 70% of all men over the age of 80 have prostate cancer.
70%.
Many times they don't even know it, and it isn't found out till they die of, say, a heart attack, and they do an autopsy, and they find out he had prostate cancer. Mm-hmm. You know, that's it's so slow growing and whatever. So anyway, let's say, you know, what was the point I was going to make on that? I was going somewhere with it. What was I saying? What happens is I suddenly elucidate and I get away from what I was going to say.
We derailed.
Yeah. But anyway, so I don't know about that. But anyway, so we'll just move on here. But I just, you know, I just wonder what it's all about, you know, and I start thinking more. Oh, I know what it was that I was going to say. So the other day, suddenly something hit me, and I went, why do I have prostate? If I have prostate cancer, why do I have it? What's the main reason I have it, Larry, if I have it?
Age.
Exactly. And then I went, I'm old enough to get it. That's the good news.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that, okay, so I've got it. So they can do something about it, you know. They'll check it out, and you know they'll probably catch whatever's there, and if they have to radiate me, they radiate me or whatever. But I made it to 80. All these other people are dropping dead around me. You know,
true.
So I mean, you know, and they go at 77, 78, and everybody goes, okay, well they lived a natural lifespan. I'm past my sell-by date.
What is the life expectancy for an American male now?
I think it may be something like 75, 76.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, let me look it up here. What is the life expectancy of a male? Let's see here. What is the life expectancy of a male? Let's see here. Life expectancy of American men drops for a third year. The average male lifespan stood at 76.1 years. See, I was right on that. Mm-hmm. In 2017, a 4-month decline since 2014. Drug overdose rates for men are almost twice as high as a decade ago. Okay, just give me the average life expectancy. On average, Americans can now expect to live 78.6 years, a statistically significant drop of 0.1 year, according to a report in 2016 data. Blah, 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 blah. So, but it doesn't say male. I want male. For a man to die. What is the average age for a man to die? Man reaching 65 can expect to live an average until 80. What? A man reaching age 65 today can expect to live on average until age 84. A woman turning 65 today can expect to live on the average of age 86. Oh, that's interesting. Well, that's good news.
There is something like if you reach the mid-60s, you should go a little longer than the average life expectancy.
Life expectancy at 80 is another 8.34 years for me. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll show them. You know, I'm going to live forever. You know, so whatever.
But I was reading some health magazines, though, they really think that they can get people to live to 150. They think that's going to be common, not too far from now.
But what you're gonna be like just this thing, you know? I mean, if they can preserve your vitality and your look and your whatever, fine. But I think you're going to start falling apart at the same age.
Yeah, if you're going to feel like crap, it's not going to be worth it.
I mean, you're going to be this wrinkle, just this thing that the gravity has just turned into a puddle on the floor. Boy, I'm you know, I am less positive than you are.
I know. It's amazing.
This is probably why we get along so well.
Well, we've always been. I was thinking about death in the first grade. So
I was thinking about it. I think when I was about then. Yeah. And I always looked at it as looming over me. I mean, way in the future, but looming over me, and that the day was eventually going to come where I was going to be facing it. And now the day has come when I'm facing it.
Yeah, and I think most of society, I think, is in denial. We weren't even, as a kid, you're not even supposed to talk about that. So I kind of had to keep it to myself.
Yeah. But I mean, I asked my father about death, and he gave me the same answer you came up with. Was that it was the death was being dead was much. You've been there before. Is how he put it.
Exactly.
You know, it's like before you were born, and then I worried about what it was like before I was born. I mean, I can't conceive of 1937 or 38. You know, because I didn't exist. Well, how is it I didn't exist? I've existed this long. Now, here's what bothers me. See, I don't get guys like Donald Trump or Vladimir Putin, or any people who are like try to lord their beliefs on other people, okay? Who constantly try to win popularity contests. How's that? You know, because you only have a finite amount of life here on planet Earth. It is maybe something like an average here we saw of, I don't know, if you live to be 70, well, let's say it's 76. My question to you is, when you look at the totality of the universe, and as I say, I was watching a documentary on the planets, and it says Mars 4.3 billion years ago. Now take that 76 years and fold it into, 4.3 billion years. And what are you?
A speck.
You're a fucking speck. You mean nothing in the totality of the universe. Okay? Why do you try to make yourself so fucking important while you're here?
I know.
Why do you try to make other people's lives miserable? Why do you round them up and throw them into concentration camps and gas them? I don't understand the Hitlers. I don't understand the Trumps. I don't understand the Putins. You're only here for a minute amount of time, and I don't care who you are, whether you're Donald Trump or some immigrant trying to cross the border. Your life is only an infinite speck in the totality of our solar system. So why don't you do the best you can with that speck? Instead, you're trying to make other people's lives miserable. And I don't understand that.
Well, they're not rational men, so.
No, they're not rational men. But do you get what I'm saying? I mean, you have to.
Yeah,
but
I think on our small planet, they do feel very, very powerful. So maybe it must feed them something. I don't know.
Yeah, but don't they say to themselves, "I'm only here for They don't have the privilege of being here necessarily, relatively, any longer than the rest of us. Okay, that's the one privilege they don't have. All their money, all their power does not give them added life. So why do they do this to us? That's what I can't figure out. That's what doesn't make sense to me. And they're pricks.
Well, I think most people that run countries are like that.
Yeah.
Not just them.
I mean, you and I don't want power, do we?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, what do you want, Bubs? What's perfect for you?
Yeah, I just want to have good health and be with my friends and laugh. That's all I want.
Yeah, and you want to be able to ply your trade, which you enjoy doing, right?
When it works, yes.
But what do you mean when it works? Bubs,
Well,
it works most of the time for you. I have not known you to really bomb.
no, yeah, I still feel like a failure. But
Do you want to know why you're bomb-proof? It would be not nice for anybody to boo you. Because you go on stage with this persona that if somebody boos you, it's like they're a bully beating up on a skinny kid.
Yeah, they're bullies. That's true. That's
I mean,
right.
the character you've created is almost. Do you get heckled a lot?
Very rarely.
See, and that's the reason why, and it's because of the character you've created. You know, do you know why Teller never talks on stage?
No.
He said it to me once. Told me once. See, that he does talk, folks. He told me once. He said, because in an early beginning of my career, I realized that if you didn't talk on stage, nobody would heckle you.
Really?
Yeah. And he says it's true. Nobody will heckle you if you're literally silent. Because they're not going to heckle you because you can't give them a comeback.
That's genius.
Yeah. So that's the reason the character, as he describes it, isn't mute. He just chooses not to talk. Okay. So anyway, but that's the reason why I don't think you get heckled. But if you're verbose and blah 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 blah, blah you're going to get heckled, you know. But then again, if you're that way, you probably can take the heckling. Do you?
Yeah.
So you say you really haven't been heckled that much in your time?
Very rarely. No.
I remember you were heckled by who was the writer?
Hunter Thompson.
Hunter Thompson. You were doing a thing at the Mitchell Brothers, right?
Right before the grand opening, they had a private party, and they hired me and two other comics to come down there, and the strippers, and Hunter Thompson was heckling me.
He was there, and you went on stage, and what did he do?
He just started yelling. It was kind of incoherent, but
yeah,
I think as he often was.
I mean, did he say you sucked or anything like that?
No, it was just crazy shit. I don't know what the hell he was on at the time, but
yeah,
I think the strippers
so at least
told me afterwards, he's like that with everyone.
At least one of the times you can remember getting heckled, you were heckled by somebody famous.
I was. That's true.
So how bad can that be?
That's actually not a bad story. I wish I had remembered more details of it, but I should talk about it.
Yeah, it's not bad. Were you ever heckled? Well, once by Hunter Thompson. What? Hunter Thompson heckled you? Do you know how many comedians would go crazy if Hunter Thompson heckled them? You know, and then again, it's also because your persona, if somebody heckled, probably wouldn't have a comeback, would you?
No, I'm not quick. Like if Steve Pearl gets heckled, he'll just come back with an avalanche.
Just yeah.
Great stuff, you know.
Yeah, he'll beat you up with his words. But the thing is that's why I think they don't heckle you. Is because your persona is not the kind that people would heckle. You know, they might walk away and go, "That act sucked," although I doubt that. But they could say that, but they wouldn't say it to your face while you were on stage because you're like a little skinny kid. They don't want to beat up. Are you still skinny?
I'm thin from the running, but I think I'm 164.
Yeah. What's your diet like?
I was a fat kid though, so I.
Oh really?
Always wary of gaining weight.
I can't imagine you being fat.
Oh, I was very fat in high school. Yeah.
What are your eating habits like?
Now they're like you, I think I drink a lot of Coke Net Zero. Is it what? Coke Zero?
No sugar. Coke, no sugar.
Right.
Yeah.
But in high school, I used to drink the regular Coke. I used to drink 12 cans a day. So.
Wow. I used to drink that Coke a lot too, but I don't think I've had a drink of it in years. And I don't take in any sugars if I can. I try to avoid them.
Yeah.
I don't think sugar's not good for you.
That was like the greatest drink ever invented, I think.
Sugar's not good for you.
It's horrible for you, yeah.
Yeah. Only if it's part of what you're eating, like if it's a fruit or a vegetable. Those sugars are naturally existent in nature. But processed sugar isn't. And so
although you can be if you, there's some actor went on an all fruit diet and within 2 weeks developed diabetes. So
really? Well, there is a lot of sugar in fruit. I don't do a lot of fruit for that reason, although I love fruit. Oh, God.
Yeah, there's a ton of sugar in fruit.
I could spend the rest of my life eating peaches, you know? I mean, I love fruit, but you got to be careful of it, you know? But I don't...
But do you eat healthy?
No, I eat meat like crazy.
You do? Wow.
Well, that's my diet. You know, that's my low-carb diet is meat. Meat and some vegetables. I'll do broccoli. I can do salad, and I put in avocados because they're low in carbs. Yeah, but meat is always a main staple of what I eat, and it hasn't seemed to hurt me. You know, my cholesterol is spot on. You know?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, all my vitals are fine. Until, of course, the cancer sets in, then they'll go crazy. You know, I'm beginning to think I don't have to worry about that. You know, so
I don't think you do.
But you never know. You know, I've got that whole "but you never know" thing going for me. By the time this thing plays, by the way, I probably already will have cancer. So you know. Actually, I'll play this next week, so I'll still be waiting for the results. That's it. Okay.
How long does it take to get the results?
About 5 days.
Yeah.
No, I had to wait for the PSA, and I was praying the PSA would go down, and it went down by a full third. And then he took this 4K test, which said I have a 53% chance that I have a Gleason score of 7 or above. And maybe have an aggressive prostate cancer, and you know, I mean, I've got I've got the edge there with 53%, but that's why he's giving me the biopsy. We got to make sure. We got to know what's doing down there, you know, whatever. And I go, okay, well, all right, find out. I said, it's going to kill me. He said, no. Whatever happens, it'll be mildly annoying.
Wow.
So, well, okay. I'll go for mildly annoying. All right. Meaning, you'll have to do radiation or something like that. But it's I mean, who knows? Who knows? You know, it's probably not going to be the thing that kills me. What's going to kill me is my wife. You know, that's why I can't go to sleep at night. You know, I'm always waiting for her to kill me. Yeah, I think you're probably, you know, but I think, you kind of wake up and you go, see, we get back to the original depressing thing we started this whole conversation with. You just don't know what it is that's going to get you, you know?
Yeah, I think about that all the time. I definitely don't. I want some warning. I don't want a stroke or a heart attack.
Well, you don't want a stroke because that means you're paralyzed or whatever. But, you know, you're still alive, kind of, as a sentient being. But you wouldn't want to live that way. I think a heart attack, you know, you die and you don't know what happened to you. Maybe that's the best way, you know? Who knows? But you don't choose the way you're going to die. So get used to that. And
Unless
live
you do
life,
suicide.
do like I've done. Live life to the fullest. Yeah, sure.
Who was the comic that said live every day like it's your last? A lot of crying.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I just my new theory in life is you get a lot of shit and then you live. So you die. Anyway, hey, listen, we've run out
Notice
of time.
we always get very cheery as the holidays approach.
Yes, we're gonna get these are gonna get even more depressing as the weeks go on. I love talking to you, Larry.
Me too.
Larry Bubbles Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll see you in a while.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And that's our good friend Larry Bubbles Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Larry Bubbles Brown. Blah, 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 blah. The bubbles. Okay, let me bring up my Skype here so we can talk to you folks out there in internet land. Okay. Let me see here. There we go. We're up and we're on, and it says that we're live, and you should see that. So now we're waiting for people to call us, which could be any moment now, any second now. I don't like to start talking because if I start talking about something, all of a sudden the thing goes off, and I'm just I suddenly don't get all flummoxed and everything. Forget it. I can't talk tonight. Jeez Almighty. Anyway, I hope we weren't too depressing, Bubs and I. But Bubs and I have the tendency to like to get a little depressing. So it's our game that we play. Anyway, I'm waiting for somebody to call. We are alive. We are on. People are getting our. There we go. Here comes Jeff Stein. Early for Jeff.
Live, we are on.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Now you've got the audio on.
There we go. Here comes Jeff Stein. Early for Jeff.
See?
Live, we are on. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Now you've got the audio on. There we go.
You hear that?
Jeff Stein. Early for Jeff.
See? Well, because you've got something. Are you watching the video?
I'm gonna shut
there. That. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Jeff? Now Jeff can't hear me. Oh boy. Jeff. Hey, Jeff? Oh, this makes for great radio, doesn't it? Or great TV, or whatever we are here. Hell, he just hung up. Jeez. I don't know what the problem is that he has, but he has that every night. So anyway. Okay, here comes Jeff again. Let me see here. Now there you are again, Jeff. You've got. You have something on. Are you?
Here comes Jeff again.
Jeff, listen to me.
There you are again, Jeff.
You're watching the internet is what you're doing, Jeff.
Here comes Jeff again. Jeff, listen to me. There you are again, Jeff. You're watching
Jeff,
the internet is what you're doing, Jeff.
There, can you hear me now?
I thought I was shutting it down. But
there, you shut it down. Now you're fine. Look at that. See? You're fine, Jeff. Are you okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jeff? Jeff can't hear me. Oh, boy. Huh? Oh, well, I'm going to get rid of Jeff here because he got rid of me. So I don't know. I think what he's doing is he's listening to the audio of the show, but it's too soon. So what could it be that he's getting? I don't know. If I were there, I could solve the problem in moments. Here we go. Here comes Phil. Here comes Phil. All right. So Phil won't have the same problem.
Yeah, I'm having some problems.
What problems are you having?
Skype problems. I'm having problems with. Am I frozen? No.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
All right.
Yeah, you look great. No problem. But I can't figure out what the story is with Jeff.
Yeah.
What
Well, my camera is not moving. It's
really? You're doing fine here.
really. Okay.
You look fine here.
I won't worry about
How many technical problems do I have to deal with tonight?
I'm even having problems with my Outlook. I can't seem to send any messages from my computer, and I can't receive any either.
Wait a minute. You can't receive what messages?
Email messages on Outlook that's on my computer.
Well, that's something with Outlook because you're sending us a signal here, so
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with your internet connection.
Yeah. Well, what's happening is I see you on YouTube and it's fine, but on my Skype connection, it's like it's a picture every 3 seconds or 2 seconds. So there's something wrong with the way I'm signed in. It made me sign in again.
Oh, wait a minute. Here comes Jeff again. Let's see what happens now with Jeff.
All right.
Okay. Hello.
Then
Hello, Jeff. Are you there? Jeff? Now you're okay. Can you hear us?
Yep.
What was it?
I just shut down the whole computer.
I've got to do the same thing. So talk to Jeff and
You got the same problem.
yeah, I got something.
Oh, boy.
So, all right.
Well, everybody else call in so that we,
Phil.
we'll leave your space open. Are you going to shut down or aren't you going to shut down? There he goes. Okay, he shut down. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm good.
I don't know what that is. 2 nights in a row you've had that problem.
I know. And
What do you do before we go on? Do you listen to us?
yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's something you're not turning off once you come on. In other words, if you're watching us.
I usually
What I would do is I would close down your browser. Okay. Get rid of your browser because, you don't need it. You've got Skype is what all you're needing,
right.
And that's probably where that audio was coming from. So.
But I thought I'm usually shutting it off anyway, or turning it off.
Yeah. So.
And I always make sure the Skype, the Skype, I make sure that's knocked off.
Well, you see, if I were to turn, for instance, I have stuff here, right? I have my browser open, but I make sure that all my stuff on the browser is turned off so that I can see the stuff, but I don't hear it. But if I were to do this, for instance, my stuff on the browser is turned off. All of a sudden you're hearing the show. I can see the stuff, but I don't hear it. See? Then I kill it.
I'm hearing it twice.
Huh? Yeah. Now I killed it and I'm fine. I make sure that all my things are off. All right. So that's what you got to do. And we're waiting for Phil to call back. Is anybody else going to call? Come on, somebody else call.
Yeah.
What the hell? Who knows? So how have you been feeling?
Well, I'm happy that I'm home again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good.
Will you try?
We had a nice little trip down south.
Yeah.
And we had one day of nice weather, and the rest of it was kind of cold or rainy.
Really, in Florida?
Well, I went to Florida and also Atlanta.
Yeah,
Atlanta was very cold.
Yeah. Does Atlanta get cold this time of year?
I don't know.
By the way, the reason I'm doing this, folks, is to keep from sneezing. I've been sneezing tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, well, folks, we're just sitting here waiting for folks to call. And maybe it's not going to happen tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Friday night.
Huh?
Friday night is. We usually have a lot of people.
Yeah, the other thing is this is Thursday, Jeff.
Oh yeah. Oh, hey everybody.
So Thursday nights are hell.
Thursday.
What's happening? What's happening? By the way, let me see if I can do this. What's happening outside? They're making a movie here.
You told me that
Yeah, yeah,
they got fake snow.
yeah. And I don't know if I can show it to you. Let me see if I. Let me see here. This is okay. I need this bit like that. Okay, now let me see if this is coming up on my. Oh yes, it is. Wait a minute, it's there. Wait a minute. I need something a little bit speedier here. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Where am I? Oh, I know what I got to do here. Hold on a second. I got to go here and see if I can get my. Okay. I got to get to another thing here. There we go. All right. Okay. Here we go. I'm using my cell phone here. Okay, there's a 5G. Okay, then I bring up this. There we go. Okay. Now, if what I do is I go to, which one is this? Well, it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. I can just do this. Hold on. Okay, see that's my iPhone. Okay, folks. Now, if I take, you're gonna have to hear me shouting from across the room. But if you kind of shoot this out the window, you can see down there they're making the movie, and it's not snowing here in New York. That's all fake snow. It's like if you walk on it, it's like walking on some kind of felt.
Yeah, but we don't see it.
What they've done is see the entrance to all those. All that. There is there are two lights.
We're not seeing anything.
They're never lit because they've been off for years. But they put lights in there, so they light up, and it looks. I don't know why the landlords don't light those lights up again. But anyway, so
he can't hear. I'm the only one
here.
here.
You to be able to see that, and it's you know.
Hey, Alex, we can't see anything.
I think that's kind of okay now. Let me see.
Alex,
There's what we're doing. Okay, let me turn this stuff off here. But anyway, could you see that at all?
No.
You couldn't see it because you didn't turn on your you didn't have on your thing. Okay, all right. Let me turn this thing off here. This is yeah. Isn't that nice? So I can use the iPhone as a camera. It's terrific. It's really terrific. So I'll get rid of that. Okay. All right. Okay. All righty.
Oh, did you go to the gym today?
No.
No.
I haven't been to the gym in a long time. And part of the reason, I'll tell you, part of the reason I haven't gone to the gym, one of the reasons I haven't gone to the gym is to piss off Marjorie. who always goes, yeah, you're not going to the gym, and and the other reason is that I have a feeling that all that working out was what was making my PSA go up, and when I went to go get my last PSA, it went down by a whole third because I hadn't done the cycling. I'd done a lot of walking to make up for it. But I didn't do the cycling thing, and the cycling thing can cause a rise in your PSA. So
I hate to tell you, you're in trouble because Marjorie's assistant is pretty close to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they in cahoots with each other?
Yeah. She might be telling on you.
Yeah, you gonna go work out? I will again. It's just I got a little tired of riding the bike all the time, and so I did started every day I was taking walks. I was walking at least a mile or two, and now the weather's so cold that it's not a lot of fun to go do that. I wonder if Phil's ever coming back or whether his machine just blew on him completely. Is anybody else going to call? We could use some more callers, folks. I mean, where are all the other people? I know that Kathleen isn't going to be here at least for the foreseeable future because her mother passed, and we send along our respects in that nature. What else was I going to tell you? I got to tell you something. You know, I had a technical problem last night, which wasn't my fault. All of a sudden, my internet goes out completely, right? But it was like it was something that the FiOS was doing, in which they were like rebooting everybody's, modems. Well, I'm sorry, don't do it while I'm doing a fucking show. So eventually it came back. Now the show's over with. And I go to look, you know how you name each of your Wi-Fi's different names? So you have a name that you know that's the one, and you give it a password and all of that. Well, all my passwords, all my Wi-Fi channels had reverted to a generic name.
Oh.
And gone to a generic password. All right. Now I know how to fix that. I know how to go on, change the names back and all of that. That's fine. I went back. I changed all the names back. I changed them. I have ones called Bolo Mills, and I changed it to Bolo Mills, and I put in the password, and so the password's working and all of that. I couldn't exactly get the passwords working because for some reason online it wouldn't let me. But when I went to my app on my iPhone, I could change them back to what they were. But what it did, remember how I told you I did all this stuff with the lights and so on, so that I could turn them on and off. I'd give people an example. Echo, turn off the studio. Wait a minute. Echo, turn off studio. There we go. See? And then I go, Echo, turn on studio. And there we go. All right?
Very nice.
All that was fucked. Completely fucked. Now I've got 3 lights in here, 4 lights in this room, 2 lights in the pantry, 2 lights in the bathroom, 2 lights in the guest room. I had to reprogram all of them. And originally I changed the password and somehow they weren't syncing up. So then I changed the password back, and it took me 2.5 hours today to get all those lights working right again. All because the fucking cable company or the FiOS decides, we'll just turn off the, we'll reboot all the routers. And I'm going, I know that this is what's wrong, but what about those people like, say, Jeff, who now goes to his computer, he wants to use his Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi isn't working. And he can't figure out why. He doesn't know to go look and see that the name that's changed. I know what to look for now. But you don't. What if they did it to you? They don't give you any warning. They don't, and they change everything. I mean, can't they reboot these things and not change the passwords and the names of the Wi-Fi's? So I literally 2.5 hours today to turn all my stuff back on. So here comes Tony. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Let me go into. Let me see here. Tony would be. He's got a new name these days, which is Webhead. Well, you can't hear me?
Oh my God! I don't got sound.
You can't hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can't hear you. I feel like I'm sort of. What's that lady who was like?
Wait a minute. You're answering me when I say stuff to you. Are you putting me on? Are you shining me?
I'll pull back. You're kind of like. I wish I could read lips.
Oh,
can you hear me?
What is wrong with people tonight? Yeah, I can hear you.
Hang up.
No, I want to go on like this for the next half hour.
I don't know what you said.
Huh?
I feel like it's the Seinfeld episode where Jerry was talking, remember?
Yeah.
Should I hang up?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'll hang up.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
who knows why he isn't getting us? But geez almighty, what is this? Technically unproficient night?
I guess so.
And Phil has never called back, so I assume Phil's gone for the night. We just have him frozen up there in the corner.
We have 2 TVs in this house.
Yeah.
That we use.
Yeah.
Sometimes when other people come here, there's a third one. But anyway.
Phil says, I can't sign in. I don't know what's wrong. Oh, boy. Okay, here comes Tony again, right? Watch. Tony will still not be able to hear us. Watch. Wait a minute. Hello, Tony. Are you there? Tony? Oh, Tony.
Well, Tony.
Wait a minute. Let me call Tony. Let me call him. Maybe that's the way to do it. Let's see here. Tony Magno. Okay. Add. Okay. Now we're calling Tony Magno. Let's see if he answers. Is Tony going to answer? There's Tony.
Oh, you know what it was?
What?
My volume was down.
Your volume was down. You stupid fucking moron.
Say that.
Oh, my volume's down. Well, that could be a good reason why you can't hear me. That's a good reason.
I think, oh my God, my volume's down. I don't know why I did that.
You know, this is really embarrassing because we have a new outlet for the Ramble. You know, we went over and we've got iHeartRadio. That's one of our outlooks. We got Spotify. We've got TuneIn.
I like the TuneIn. I used to.
What? Yeah.
I like TuneIn. That's why I listen to you on the TuneIn.
Yeah, and but that's only for live. That's for the live. Yeah, 24/7. Well, we have a new one. You may remember in the last episode of the Alex Bennett program in 2013, what happened to my career? I was fired from Sirius XM satellite radio. Okay? We don't know why. I still don't know why. I have no idea. All I know is that I lost my job, or as my friend Bob Goldthwait used to say, well, I lost my job. Well, I didn't really lose it. I know where it is. I'm just not going there anymore. So I lost my job at Sirius XM. And now it's many years later, and I'm doing this internet thing, right? And they go out and they buy a company called Pandora. And Pandora, what did Pandora have? Basically, they had music. But all of a sudden, they decided they're now going to have podcasts. So I figured, what the fuck? I'll apply, right, to see if they'll carry my podcast. And sure enough, I get a thing today. We're on Pandora. You just go to Pandora, go to podcast, put in Alex Bennett, put in, I think, the Ramble. You can put that in there. You can put GabNet in there. All of those will get you to our podcast. Okay? So essentially, I'm back on Sirius XM again.
So, Alex, Pandora bought Sirius then? Or
No. Sirius bought Pandora.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they own Pandora now. So, but don't tell Sirius because they'll probably take my podcast off,
That's funny you're back in the same loop as them.
Well, it all gets a little weird, doesn't it? Huh?
So when I was, when we moved into this area here, it's mostly for people who are 55 or older.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they also have a nice club place. So you can go in there and have meetings and play cards and there's swimming pools and all that. So anyway, when we joined the thing, they invite us. They said, okay, once a month, anybody who's a newbie, a new person, is welcome to come in and say hello.
Yeah.
Meet some of these people. So I'm walking in there and blah, blah, blah. And then I look at Pam and I says, Pam, I said, I think that's Roy, which is a guy I knew. And Pam goes, no. I said, I thought he was dead. So I go over to the guy, and I haven't seen him for 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So I walk over to him, and I said, you're Roy, right? He goes, yeah. And I said, I'm Jeff Stein. And I think he kind of said yes, but I'm not quite sure about that. And I said to him, well, don't you remember me? You're the guy who fired me. And he says, no, I never fired anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was your boss?
I said, you're right, Roy. Full of shit.
So anyway, is Roy looking like shit now that he's older?
Him anymore.
Huh?
Do you see him, Pam? No.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Was it a weird feeling of seeing him like, oh shit?
It was him.
It was him.
I know.
Wow.
Did you like him as a boss, Jeff, or no? So were you? I don't want to say this, but were you kind of? Well, I can't say it. Were you like, he's alive? Oh, shit. I was hoping he'd be gone. I'm joking.
You know what I just happened to think? What I just happened to think about is that Phil should have never signed off.
Well, what he threw a tantrum? I must have missed it.
No, he didn't. No tantrum. No.
I thought he was mad.
Not this time. No, he was having problems with his.
The connection.
He was freezing every now and then on his side. His picture on our side looked terrific, right? So then I get a thing from him just now, or a little bit ago here, that says, "I can't sign in. I don't know what's wrong."
He can come in on the audio.
Huh?
He can call on the audio.
Yeah, he could. He could use his phone. Yeah, he could.
Have one.
You know.
He might be mad about the whole impeachment hearings.
No, I don't think so.
What impeachment?
What impeachment? There's no.
I like when he came out and read the letter with the phone call. It was a perfect phone call.
Let me see here.
See that shit?
Let me call Phil. Wait a minute. One group member not on call. Okay. Let me see here. Let me just ring him and see if he, if he comes up here. But it's I mean, who knows? He looks like he's having some real problems tonight. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, these problems I had last night just so pissed me off, because after the show I went to the lights and I went to say, oh, here we go, here comes.
What a debacle!
What do you mean, what a debacle? You didn't have the debacle I had last night with my fucking files.
I was on the phone with Apple. My password wasn't working. I couldn't get into anything. I was blocked out. It didn't like my answers, to my Apple questions to change the password.
Yeah.
And now I'm using a password I used a few months ago, and it's working. So I don't know what's going on.
Wait a minute. What password for what?
Get into the computer.
To get into the computer.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me in.
Don't you have it so that it just signs itself on, so you don't have to sign on all the time?
I did.
I know why you had that problem. Your password used to be Trump.
That's why they're going to reject it.
It still is.
I know, but it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had this thing last night with FiOS, and it just, they every now and then they've done this before too, where they reboot the routers. I don't know why they did it in the middle of the show last night, And then when they come back, my password's back to the generic, some long number. I don't know what it is. And the password's been completely changed. And then I have to change back the name and back the password, but it wouldn't take my password online. So I had to go to my FiOS on here to change it, and that did change it.
That's what I had to do. I had to go on my phone, get on a Apple ID .apple.com website, and answer some questions. And when I answered, it says, "What city were your parents born in?" Well, I don't remember if it was I put Brooklyn or New York. So
that's not a city, Phil.
Well, New York's a city.
Brooklyn's a borough.
You know what you should do with those? I hate. See what I hate.
Donkey.
What I hate are all those stupid questions they ask you, so that later on they might ask you one of them, right?
Right. Well, they asked me,
and it just hit me. Why don't you just, when it comes time to fill them out, like it goes, what was your favorite city? Trump. What's your favorite? What was your pet's first name? Trump. And just do everything with the same name, so that no matter what question they ask you, you can just go Trump.
Yeah. That works.
I mean, I hate all that stuff. I would like them to say to me, if you would like ultimate security, let us know. And then you can go through all this bullshit. But if you don't want the ultimate security and you're willing to take your chances, then good luck. And then you don't have to answer anything. You don't have to have a password for anything,
And it was going back to the disco age. It said we want to do two-step verification.
Well, that one I hate.
said I don't do the two-step anymore. Well, maybe that was a country western thing.
Every time I sign on to anything Apple, it gives me a thing where I got to put some numbers in.
Hey, one time, where was my grandfather? Where was he born?
It X's me. My mother's meeting.
Okay, so I think New Jersey, but I think New York.
Well, why don't you just put in Trump? Just answer all those questions identically.
Rudy.
But
Trump may be using that.
I've had the same password for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And recently, it's gotten to the point where if you use it, but all of a sudden they want you to redo your password or something. No, not update it, but just redo your password because it's gotten flummoxed or whatever. They won't let you go back to that old one.
Right. That's right. And, it used to be you could just use 4 letters or numbers or something. Then it went up to 6. Now it's 8. Now you got to have a capital and a special thing.
Yeah.
Pretty soon I'll have to hire Tony to remember what they
Just
are.
ask me if I want to be super secure or not secure at all, and I'll take my chances. Go ahead, steal my identity, then you'll have no life. That's what I think Bubbles line.
It's a similar deal to people on motorcycles that don't want to wear helmets. They say, well, it's my right to drive a motorcycle without a helmet. But the problem is you end up getting your head crushed and you come into the ER and then we got to pay for those motorcyclists that don't have a helmet on. Well, you don't want ultimate security. So when you call up Apple and you say, hey, I've been hacked. I've been beat up. It's not. I can't get into my computer. And they say, well, you didn't choose ultimate security, so we're not gonna help you.
Well, I've been.
Or you got to pay.
But I've had a situation in which I have been, not hacked, but in one case, some kid in Hong Kong was using my information to go buy video games. Right. Okay, so I just tell. I think they were doing it through my account on what's what's the
Amazon?
No, PayPal. And so I just called PayPal and I said they're using my blah blah blah, and they go, okay, well, you don't have to pay for it, and we'll tell them to check into it. We'll look into it. So I mean, most of these companies, if you get ripped off on your credit card, the credit card company absorbs the loss.
Yeah, but ultimately, everybody else absorbs that loss too, because they make it up in fees. They raise fees to everyone.
You're giving me the Republican answer.
Well, I'm giving you the truth.
I'm giving you the truth too. That's bullshit. It does. It's like doctors. You used to say,
bullshit.
The reason I charge so much as a doctor, I'm having to pay for my education. Fuck you. You paid it off 20 years ago.
He's still educating himself. That's why they're always practicing. They never get it straight.
Really?
I hope
Yeah.
When are they going to be able to just do the thing instead of having the practice to do it? You know?
But anyway, I would rather just take my chances. I mean, I've been using the same password for the last 20 years, and it's never gotten hacked, and it's the simplest fucking password in the world. It's not password, by the way. But
I know what it is. It's Trump.
It's Trump. Yeah, exactly.
But the problem is TRUMP is only 5 letters.
By the way, I don't want fucking passwords. Do you know every time? See these lights? There are these lights back of me and over here. Every time I hooked up one of those lights, I had to turn them on, turn them off, turn them on, turn them off, and get them to blink. Then when I got them to blink, I had to put in the name of the Wi-Fi, and then I had to put in the password, and then many times it didn't work. It didn't initiate it. They finally did when I went back to my old password. But I mean, I had to do this for 4 lights here, 2 lights in the pantry, 2 lights in the bathroom, 2 lights in the guest room. Come on, that took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours today.
Did you see the light?
Because fucking FiOS turned off and they, by the way, they turned it off again later on in the night when I was trying to get things working again. But it didn't it didn't make all the passwords and names of the Wi-Fis revert to this generic name that they have for it. But if I know that that's what happens, and I see that those names come up, and I know that they've done that. But a guy like Jeff, who is not, Jeff is not as savvy about all of this as say we are, and Jeff, you would have a problem, right? You wouldn't know what happened. And they don't warn anybody. They don't write and say, "Hey, we're going to be turning this stuff on and off."
No, they let you figure it the hard way.
Yeah,
I've had this. I have the same problem with the company that provides me my accounting system at work. Mm-hmm. Something isn't working. They don't send you an email and say there's a problem doing this. And we're working on it. You got to get frustrated for an hour and a half, and then you got to call them. And then they tell you, well, we've had a couple of calls on that,
Yeah. I mean, and you call. Here's the worst part. I mean, this is the horror, of course, as you all know, folks. Every one of you is calling technical support.
Yeah,
because
Apple technical support's not bad.
Apple's very good. Yeah, Apple's incredible.
800 my Apple. I was right in.
Apple is terrific. Okay,
yeah.
I have to say I had a problem with Apple, and I called them, and they helped me, and they saw me through it, and
let me ask you something. You got the same computer as me, right?
Yeah.
Now, if Apple
mine has more stuff in it, but go ahead.
If Apple asks you for the ID number, the serial number,
mm-hmm.
and you have to turn that thing over and look, it's so small to see the serial number.
Mm-hmm.
If let's say you can't get into the thing that you can't boot it to turn it on, you go to look at the serial number. It's impossible to see.
I have to use a flashlight.
Yeah,
and I then have to perhaps even use a magnifier.
Right.
Yes, but if I've got my computer on and they want to know the serial number, I can get to it.
Yeah, it's easy. You go up to the Apple and boom, it's there. Yeah. But if you can't get the computer on for one reason or another, the password issue or
they
something
should have the serial number in big bold letters across the back of
They
it.
should.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah.
So
I always take a picture of it. Take a picture of it and keep the picture, and then you can zoom it in.
That's not a bad idea. But the thing is, tonight, I call up the 800 Apple, and it said, well, you recently had an issue with your iPhone 10. Is that the product you're calling about? And I said, no.
No.
And they said, what computer are you calling about? I said, Mac Pro. They said, is that the one from 2014? I said, yes. Boom. I didn't have to give them anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they have most of the information on what
they used to ask. They
well,
always ask.
If you go to appleid.com or whatever that is, there's a place there where you can see all your machines and all the serial numbers on them and so on. So they have all.
It's improving. Yeah, it's
But
improving.
I often just go to the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you have a store close by?
Yeah, it's not that close, but
Yeah.
we're also.
I have an Apple store within walking distance, but I don't want to walk there. I want to call them up, and
to begin with, if you want to see a genius at the Genius Bar,
call Tony.
No, you have to make an appointment. And when you make an appointment, it's usually about 3 days from now.
Right.
And you're going, it's broken now.
Right.
It's not broken.
I have to fix it right away. I go crazy.
No, well, I mean, I think that they should say, is this an emergency? Like I called my dentist the other day.
It's always an emergency.
I said, I have an emergency with a tooth with a filling that seems to be coming loose. And the next day they made an appointment for me, and I was in there, and they fixed it, and I'm good to go,
Are you going to the same woman that you were going to?
Yeah.
Oh,
but the filling that got bad wasn't something she did; it's something the fucked up dentist did.
Yeah.
So the guy, I didn't have the woman this time. I had her partner, the guy, and he looked at it and he said, "Okay, well, fill it up, we'll clean it out and fill it up." And I was good to go. And now my stuff isn't being stuck between my teeth and stuff like that,
Now, you used up all but $1 of
That's right. Now, that's the best part about this.
I know, but what are you going to do to fix this thing?
I had
one.
Well, I saved $1 yesterday. No, but here's the deal. Actually, I pay 50%, so they only gave me 50 cents. Anyway, what happens is even though I don't have any more money left in my thing, they have to charge me what the insurance company says they can charge.
Right.
Okay. Guy filled the tooth. How much you think it costs?
$300.
100?
I know that when they did this tooth at my old dentist, she charged me $400 for it. $154.
Oh my! She just put a filling in.
That's a trip for me to Costco.
That's the full pop for the filling? Was
Yeah.
$154 per the insurance.
Yeah.
So you still would have, if you had the insurance, you would only save $75.
Yeah.
$76.
Yeah, maybe more. I don't know. I don't know what they would pay.
Well, 50-50 is.
Well, I don't know if it's 50-50 on fillings. It could be 80% on fillings. I don't know. But the point is, I was ready to give her my card and go, okay, what's the damage here? Here's my card, and she says, oh, it's $154. I went, what?
Hey, with those kinds of prices, you ought to. With those kinds of prices, you ought to lose a couple of other fillings.
Yeah, right.
You can't afford not to get more fillings today.
That was fine.
But it was cheaper at Costco. You get 2 of them.
Yeah, you get 2. Right.
You got to pull the tape off.
Anyway, so I'm still peeing blood.
You will be.
Yeah.
How long is that last?
Not badly. It's lightening up, and I haven't taken a shit since the procedure.
Really? Are you backed up or no?
No, I just think that, well, to begin with, I did a fleet enema before I went in, so that got rid of everything that was there, and and then I did poop when I came home, and then I haven't since then, so I don't know. So maybe I'm,
Eat spinach, because my mother.
But tomorrow my doctor's supposed to call me and let me know what the results are, so we'll see.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not expecting. I'm not expecting. I'm thinking the worst, but the fact is that I really have no symptoms of anything, and he doesn't see anything or feel anything. So if I've got it, it's probably.
Well, there's no symptoms really.
Well, you could lose weight.
I mean, I had it.
No,
and,
but they could feel it though.
Yeah.
Phil?
Maybe depends on where it is.
No, Phil. When you had yours, they felt something, right? They knew there was a tumor there, right?
Yeah.
My guy can't feel anything, and he's looked at it with the scope inside me and all of that.
Alex. Yeah, but they do the scope; they can see everything.
Well, they can't see everything, but they can get a good idea of what's going on in there. We'll see. I mean, I just don't think that I can't see that it's something that's spread to the rest of my body or anything like that.
Oh no, because they can, if they shoot you up with some dye, they could do a CT scan and they could see if it's spread to the bone, and the bone is the next place it spreads to.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not even. I'm not even worried. I'm not even worried that we've gotten that far.
Yeah.
He wasn't worried. I mean, he said, he said who knows? He said that he knew a guy. I said this last night. He said he had one patient who for the last 10 years has had a PSA of 90.
90? How can you have a PSA of 90?
PSA of 90. He said,
never heard of that.
And he every time they give him a PSA, 90.
What do they do?
And they checked everything in him, and they've done biopsies and all of that. And yes, he's got cancer in his prostate, but it hasn't spread. So he says there's no telling what happens with these things. He said, but he said, I can tell you, how old do you want to be? I said, I'd like to live to be 88. He says, I think you're going to make it. He said he didn't. It was like I kind of got this feeling from him that he wasn't expecting the worst. Okay, but I'm telling you, Phil, and I told this to Kevin last night. That was maybe the easiest procedure I've had.
That was just practice.
No, that was an easy procedure. I mean, he would
do
the thing. It sounds like a staple gun, right?
Yeah, feels like one too.
No, it doesn't. No, it was just a little.
They numbed you up, and they numbed me up, but I still don't think they used enough numbing.
Well, all I know is he did a great job, and if he wanted to do it again next year, I'd say sure, go right ahead. I mean, it was just, it was so easy and so uneventful that I walked out and I went, that was it,
So maybe it's more in our mind than Alex, because you get nervous.
Well, I don't know. Kevin says his was painful,
Mine was uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, mine wasn't even uncomfortable. I mean, I was talking to
Jeff.
as he was well, in a second, Jeff, as he was doing this Staples thing, whatever it is, ping, ping, ping. I'm talking to him through the whole thing, and he's talking back, and I'm going, and I wasn't even the first one I went, I didn't know what to expect, so I kind of went, ooh, He said a lot of people say this feels a little like an electric shock. Is what he said, and he did it, and every time before he did, he said, "Here we go again," and it was like I went, this is like a walk in the fucking park, So I don't know what they did to you guys, but maybe Marquis de Sade or Mengele was your doctor.
I have Kaiser.
Yeah, you have Kaiser. Where their motto is, you don't need anesthetic.
It's really difficult.
Well, he offered me a hammer.
Yeah.
They saved a lot of money, though.
But he was Marjorie said afterwards, because she sat in on the consult with me. She said, that's a good doctor. She said, I really feel you're in good hands with this guy. And she said, and she kept reminding me that it didn't seem like he felt it was going to be any big deal. And if the worst came to worst, we do radiation. And by the way, Phil, here in New York, I have access to proton therapy.
Yeah, well,
They have it
there's
at Sloan
access
now.
to it
Look.
here, except
You can
Kaiser
go right
didn't
in.
have it.
Yeah. And proton, well, I asked him about proton. He says, there's some question about proton, whether it's better or not. And I said, well, it looks like it's better because it doesn't have the same, it targets.
Side effects.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have the same side effects. Yeah. And there are less treatments of it, too.
Right, 5 treatments.
No, not 5.
Yeah.
No, this is like goes on for a month or a month and a half.
No, it's every other day for 5 days.
No, I read
Then-
all
then
about it.
you're not going to Proton Plus. You got to or discount proton therapy.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no.
No, they said it's less time. Like normally if somebody would be giving it to you for 6 weeks, with us it's 4 weeks.
Then you go to Proton for less.
And they're
It's a
here.
better deal.
They're in here in
Costco,
They're
they'll
here
give
in
you 2 for
Harlem.
1.
Yeah, they're here in Harlem as well. So
Yeah.
I told
Jeff was trying to say something, and he's probably forgotten.
Oh,
by
Jeff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like if by next week you're going to be absolutely gone with the prostate problem. So you're going to have to come up with a new disease.
No,
Well,
I
that's
don't
if he
know. I
doesn't
don't
have
know.
the
You
cancer.
know, I may.
We got Thanksgiving.
I could have the
You can enjoy
cancer,
it.
but it could be that I've, got like a 6 Gleason score or a Gleason score that's the good 7.
Less than 6.
No, there's a good 7 too.
I know you do
Yeah, it's
that.
like
You
if
have a nice
if it's a 3-4 or a 4-3 or something, that's the good one. I mean, it could be something like that, and he's just going to tell me, come back and see me in 6 months. We'll just keep an eye on this thing. It's no big deal. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows? But
At your age, they're not going to take it out.
oh, they're
And
not going to take it out.
And they may not do anything.
They're not going to take it out, but they could do the radiation, and if they do the radiation, that always clears it up too. So.
Did he say what the size of your prostate is?
Normal.
So it's like 30? 30?
I don't know what it is. He didn't say, but he said it's normal, and he said that. But part of it is because I take the finasteride, which makes it.
They can do the seeds on a normal prostate.
Oh yeah, but I may not even need that. I don't know what I'm going to need. I don't know if we'll find out tomorrow. Tomorrow night I'll either be really happy or very depressed.
Yeah. Well,
or not on at all.
The only thing is, you might have cancer and they just didn't find it through the biopsy.
Well, that makes me feel good, Phil.
I knew it would.
Yeah. You're always one. Look, I know that he only takes 12 cores, and he may have hit the wrong places. But if in 12 cores they don't find one, chances are whatever you got ain't that extensive.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So whatever. So I mean, what was your? So anyway, did you hear we're on Pandora? No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just get it on YouTube, and I'm a happy guy.
No, we're on Pandora. You know what that means?
You get paid?
No, but I'm now being broadcast essentially by Sirius XM again.
Oh, so
because they own Pandora.
So you now you're now in the broadcast venue again.
Well, no, I was with iHeartRadio. I'm on iHeartRadio's site as well. So
yeah.
I tried to get the other guys on, and I applied for iHeartRadio for all our other shows, and they didn't accept them, or they didn't. They never got back to me on it.
Yeah. They probably listened to the show.
I'm thinking of maybe trying to get Jack's show on Pandora, see what happens. But but don't tell Sirius XM. In fact, I have a spot I did here. Would you like to hear the spot? I love this.
Sure.
I so love the spot that I would like you all to hear it again. Here we go.
In 2013, after 9 years, Alex Bennett got let go by SiriusXM satellite radio for reasons yet to be known. Was it his salary? Was it his advancing years? Or did he just suck? The truth will never be known. Last year, SiriusXM, knowing that their old and rusting satellites were yesterday's technology, bought into the internet by taking over the streaming service Pandora. Well, we suppose that Alex has finally snuck his way back into the SiriusXM orbit, presenting Alex Bennett's Ramble on Pandora. Get Pandora and get Alex, but don't tell SiriusXM. If they know he's there, they might dump him again. The Ramble from Gabnet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Huh?
Very nice.
Yeah. And of course, that's Albert.
Yeah.
Who is the new voice of Gabnet because Rob's equipment doesn't work. So
You know, talking about Albert, I guess he's the Prince Albert is having a real hard time.
wait a minute. All of a sudden, I like how you work that into the conversation.
Yeah.
Speaking of Albert, Prince Albert.
Right.
And it's not Prince Albert, it's Prince Andrew.
Andrew Albert. Is he in a can?
No, but I'll
Albert
knock on the door and see if he'll come out. And do you have Prince Albert in the can? I didn't know he was taking a dump. That's the old joke. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, did you hear today that after he gave that interview,
that really good interview, he really was smart to do that
excellent.
one. Yeah.
And they asked him, why did you stay at the at Epstein's house? And he says it was a good deal.
No, he said it was a very nice apartment, and you get blown. So know, I mean, come on, you can't beat that.
Free massages. What do you want?
He doesn't have. They let him go from the royal family. He doesn't have any duties anymore. I guess he's been suspended,
and he's also been suspended from a lot of charities that he was. He has basically no income coming in.
Right. And I think he has to go back to the States and answer the accusations.
No, there were no accusations against him.
Minor. There was a minor at the time. She was 17, and she says she was forced to bang him 3 times.
17's kind of close, though. You can fudge on that.
I guess not New York.
Well, you can fudge on that. I mean, you're getting close to that. Here's what I don't get. It's not okay to fuck somebody when they're 17, but their birthday's the next day. Okay? But the next day, it's okay to fuck them. I just don't understand that. I mean, isn't there a kind of like a grace period on either side?
I don't think there's a grace period. I think what happened is this guy has got a problem, and he's got a big mouth. So it's going to be tough for him.
For him, I don't think Andrew's got a problem. I think Andrew knew Epstein. Listen, Epstein knew a lot of people. Okay, Epstein ingratiated himself to anyone he could get next to. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was his problem. All right. But so it goes without saying that he would ingratiate himself to Andrew. I mean, if you're making a big deal about him ingratiating himself to Andrew, then I suppose you should probably make a big deal about the fact that he ingratiated himself to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump took some of his favors, whether it was a party or a trip somewhere or whatever. Yes, Jeff.
My granddaughter's 17.
Yeah.
She's in high school.
When's she going to be 18? Yeah. I know she's in high school.
17, I mean, if it's another 17-year-old kid, that's one thing. But, somebody that's 60 years old and a 17-year-old kid, and she says she was forced to do it. I don't see how she kept going back, I guess, for 3 different occasions. But
well, that's all a question to be asked. Okay, I mean, what if you meet up with somebody and they say they're 18 and it turns out they're 17, and they pass themselves off as 18? Are you supposed to ask for identification? What are you supposed to do?
I guess in today's world you are.
I was in that situation when I was much younger. When I was at the Live 105, or actually the Quake, And this woman came on to me, and we started having an affair. And one day, she told me that her birthday was the next day, and I said, "How old are you going to be?" And she says, "Well, I haven't told you my right age. I'm going to be 18." And I immediately called up my lawyer and asked him, but she had along the way told me that she was 18. I should have kind of suspected something was wrong when she told me she worked at McDonald's. All right. But, I just, and now I still hear from her. She's in her 50s now. She's an old broad, But I was worried about that, and I dumped her immediately as soon as I found that out, even though she was going to be 18 the next day, because I didn't like that kind of lying to me. Because, okay, tell me how old you are, and then if I want to, take the chance,
right,
I'll do it, but don't lie to me.
See, you probably had you probably had to really watch everything, Alex, because you don't know when anybody's telling you the truth then. Because she could have said, "Oh, I'm 21 or 20." And
listen, I'll admit to something here, and I don't like to admit to it, and that's past the, I can't get arrested for it now, statute of limitations. But the fact is that I was, let me hold on a second. Let me just get Bree on here. There's Bree. Okay, there we go. Let me see here. Hello, Bree. How are you?
Hello.
Yeah.
Good.
Anyway, let me say what I was going to say. I knew this girl.
Yeah.
And she was a very mature woman and passed herself off as I think 20, and she looked absolutely like she could be 20, right?
Yeah.
Looks can be deceiving.
Later, for a long time telling me that she was 20, she finally admitted to me that she was 15.
Oh, goodness.
Well, I dumped her really fast. Now, the question is, did I do something wrong?
Yes and no. The same thing happened to me, but this one was 14.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was, in the days of film, I used to deal with a photo lab, and this gal would answer the phone, and we'd chat, and she was fun and gregarious, and so she said, "Let's meet." So I meet her, and she's very good looking and very mature looking. And I said, "How old are you?" She says, "I'm 18. I think I was."
Wait a minute.
19.
Hold on a second. Bree?
Yeah.
Look down and see if we can see the tiger. Come on. You're passing the tiger.
Okay.
You're passing.
45 seconds.
Oh, okay.
The eye of the tiger.
Yeah, the white tiger.
I'll let you know.
So,
let's continue to hear Phil making
an illegal thing.
Something of himself.
She was actually married. She was from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And in Alabama, she got married and I guess left the husband, probably. And she was out in San Francisco. And it turns out after I met her, she told me that she was 14.
Well, then she's but she was emancipated minor. Because she was married. So you were, but these things happen, and guys have been lied to all the time. Now, I don't think that Andrew was lied to,
No, he knew what he was getting into.
He knew what he was getting into. But
he wanted to see the tiger.
And also, did he stop going over to Epstein's place as soon as he found out she wasn't of age? What did he do? I mean, in my case, I stopped seeing the woman. I just said, that's it. I can't do this. It's wrong. So right from wrong, but you can't get lied to. Oh, there's that swingy thing from yesterday.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and people were screaming on it. Yeah. Can you turn on your mic so we can hear this? Oh, here we go. Now down there.
There he is.
Where?
Yeah. There he is.
Where? I don't see him.
There he is.
I don't see him.
I don't see him.
You need a steady cam.
Oh, wait a minute.
If you're going to keep walking, there he is.
There he is.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Do you
Nice
see him? Wait a
today.
minute. Wait a minute. Everybody, be
Yesterday we
quiet.
couldn't see him. He
Everybody,
wasn't moving.
There we go.
everybody, be quiet.
Let
Okay,
Ray-
Wait a minute. Everybody, be quiet, and let's
Try
see.
to get a little
Let's.
closer over here. Looks like somebody is going in his cage. I don't know.
Not for long.
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
There.
The guy with the
So there he is. There he is. You see him, folks?
Yeah.
That's a white tiger. Is that a Bengal tiger, or what kind of tiger is that?
I would assume it's a Malayan tiger, but I don't
Yeah.
know if they come in the white varietal.
Yeah. And
See him?
The
Yeah.
tigers
Yeah.
are no different. It just happens to be white.
actually, he has a fairly huge habitat to walk around, but he's still pacing, which means he feels cooped in.
Oh yeah, he can go. It's massive. I mean, it's on the other side of the. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
It must be
Siegfried
feeding.
or
I think
Freud.
it's getting close to feeding time
Yeah.
because when they pace like that and near there, or he's waiting for somebody to fall off of the swing, I mean, he's got all this area over here,
Yeah.
where he can go. It's pretty extensive.
Well,
So-
there they are.
Do you ever buy extra sushi and bring it back and throw it off the edge there?
No, I haven't
Probably
done that
arrest
because they've got CCTV cameras here. I wouldn't want to go down that path.
Yeah. But
Now, in Singapore, they cane you if you spit on the sidewalk or you chew gum and spit it.
Oh, yeah.
What do they do to you in Kuala Lumpur? They just hang you?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Same thing.
Yeah. So that's why it's clean?
yeah. Wow. Well, folks, you don't see that often, but when you watch Gabnet, you see, and the people who are listening to us on Pandora, too bad you don't get the video version.
Okay. All right. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It says, look, live tiger exhibit.
exhibit.
There we go. See? You're walking above a live tiger exhibit.
It does kind of, give you a little jolt walking to work in the morning. Like, if I'm not fully on my game, I could become Tiger's breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
seem,
if your employers don't like you, they just push.
it doesn't seem like
Well,
they.
I had a.
It doesn't seem
Sorry,
though.
I had a.
Well, Bree, what I was saying is it doesn't look like they have a lot of protection there for people.
No, no, they don't. You're absolutely right. I had a boss in Dubai. He used to say, it doesn't matter in Africa. It doesn't matter if you're the gazelle or the lion. When you wake up in the morning, you better be running like hell.
Yeah.
Hey,
in San Francisco at the zoo several years ago, somebody climbed over a big fence into a tiger cage, got mauled, and was killed. And they made because they're so stupid in San Francisco, they made them build a higher fence so that people couldn't get over the fence. Instead of telling people, don't be stupid and climb over the fence, you're going to get mauled and killed, they build a higher fence. Here in Kuala Lumpur,
I seem to remember that incident. Didn't they put the tiger down or something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was so it's amazing. You look at this and you say, oh, they've only got a 3.5 foot high thing, and that people could jump over, they could get into the habitat. No, they respect everything over there, and they don't do these stupid things like they do in San Francisco, because in San Francisco, if they get eaten, they'll sue. Even though there was a fence,
but didn't they?
The zoo was closed.
Like that lady out, where was it, in New York, that jumped over the fence and started taunting the tiger.
Right. The zoo was closed in San Francisco when this happened. It was at night or on a.
It was a kid.
Yeah,
it was
right.
a
They
kid,
climbed
if
over
I
from
remember
Sloat
correctly.
Street or some shit.
Yeah, it was a kid.
Yeah.
It was an adult kid. It was a teenager.
Yeah.
Some shit.
And so people.
And they sued and they won.
Yeah, that's right. How morons.
Tiger dies and they get paid.
Right.
How does that work?
And they had to put a higher fence to keep morons like that out of there.
Yeah. But it seems to me as though Bree, who is now getting to be a very boring human being, is going to get the same lunch he got yesterday. This almost seems like
you go to a different place, Bree.
This almost seems like a rerun of yesterday, Bree.
That's true, Alex. I'm sorry about that.
Bree, can I ask you a question? You're into technology. You have 10 phones, 20 iPads.
Yeah.
Why don't you get a Steadicam for your iPhone?
I don't have an iPhone. I have a Galaxy Note 4.
The iPhone does have a Steadicam in it. The iPhones are very steady.
The earlier iPhones had a thing you hold on to with the battery. You own one, Alex.
That wasn't an iPhone. No, that wasn't an iPhone. That was the GoPro.
The gimbal.
And the gimbal. But now the GoPro has is self-gimbaling, so you don't even need
that. You can get a gimbal for a phone. Even if it's not the same brand as, not an Apple or something.
Well, Apple sells them at the Apple store. They have those gimbals.
Will it work with his Note?
Probably.
Yeah, you can get them online for like $80 now.
So it connects via Bluetooth or what?
No, it grabs onto the phone.
You put it on the phone, and then it just
you walk around with it, and you can shake it around and everything else, but it steadies the camera.
It's got a gimbal on it.
How do I do the audio?
The regular way you.
All it is it's a thing that holds the camera. That's all it is.
Because right now I'm using my Bluetooth headset.
Yeah, none of that
changes.
It has nothing. All you do is clip it onto this thing, and then it works as a gimbal.
It.
Well, here we go.
It's a handle. Yeah, Kevin's got one.
It's this.
So but that's a more major one.
Is that for the GoPro?
Looks like for a phone.
That's for a phone. It'll work on any phone.
Oh, really? How much did that run you?
Connect it up with Bluetooth here, and it steadies it.
How much did it cost you?
This one cost me like $90.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
So you put your phone in there?
Yeah, you clip it in right here.
And then as you walk, it stays steady. No matter.
It'll steady it, and then you can control it here with.
But it's not like we're on HBO here.
Yes, we are.
That's true.
We're on Pandora.
No, not the video. Just the audio is Pandora.
iPod, you can set it up on a wall, and then it'll follow you around as well.
Yeah.
Really?
But the GoPro now, the latest GoPro, which I just put away. It's over here. The 7. It's self-gimbaling. I mean, and the 8, I think, is even better at it.
Yeah. I go to Macy's.
Yeah.
Not gimbals.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
with all the technology you have.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I got to say something. It's already fucking Christmas in Kuala Lumpur.
Did you get Santa Claus?
I got my first Christmas card at the store today.
Really?
It's not even Thanksgiving yet.
Yeah,
they're now starting to do all this stuff right after Halloween.
I gotta tell you, Alex, the country that has everyone beat for getting ready for Christmas is the Philippines. They bring stuff out. I am not kidding you. In July and August.
They didn't take down the stuff from the last Christmas.
When I was there in September, you would have sworn it was December.
Yeah.
I was listening to in the restaurant. I'm like, why are they playing Christmas music? Like, that is absolutely too early. And then I'm like, nope, this is the Philippines, and they're going to do their Christmas when they do it.
By the way, for those of you who want excitement on this program, we're in a mall in Malaysia.
Do they have an Orange Julius there?
Or would that be a Malaysia? What?
Do they have Orange Julius in his mall? I wonder if they have it there. Remember the Orange Julius?
I think they do have do they have Orange Julius? He asked. Oh, I think maybe we lost him.
He froze.
Yeah, you're frozen, kind of. Yeah.
Well, maybe he's eating.
No. He's in a mall. He's underground.
I think he froze in the same place last night.
Yeah. And it picks up later when he's eating sushi. But anyway, no, Tony, they have Orange Julius's everywhere. They had them in China when I was there. I think I saw an Orange Julius. Yeah.
I used to love that in my mall.
Do you know there's something
Yeah.
like close to there's something like close to 5,000 Kentucky Fried Chickens in China?
Thank you. Can I get a cold green?
Oh,
Bree's ordering.
he's ordered some. I heard it's cold.
He's ordering the same shit he ordered yesterday. He's boring.
Creature of habit.
Same. However, today we did get to see the tiger pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good tiger. You know, the thing is, he is the king of technology, and and we get a lot of these tours out of Bree, and I like them. It would just be nice with a Steadicam.
Yeah, well, they're
Well, it's not really a Steadicam. What is it called? A gimbal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kevin, last night I was listening to Jack, and he was giving you a whole thing about your beard, and that it's Christmas time, and you're going to be Santa again. Are you doing any of that this year?
I don't know. I haven't gotten any calls. I don't think so, unless somebody calls me for a party or something.
Yeah, because you're not doing it on a regular basis now.
No, the one job I had over at the Christmas tree farm got taken up by a fake beard, I guess, last year because I had surgery. And the guy didn't call me back.
Oh,
I
really?
think because he's a Trumper.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I think he's back again. There we go. There we go. He's now getting ready to order his sushi.
But I don't know. See what happens.
See, I've got a gimbal. This is called a Sidekick, and you put the camera on it, and it goes on your tripod. So it's not a full gimbal, but it's called a Sidekick.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It gives you.
Yeah. Well, this is in fact, that was just the reason this is here. Is I was charging this one. Let me.
Is that your old one?
This is the old one. Yeah. This is the old one. This costs the gimbal costs like $300. Now you can get the built-in gimbal on the phone for they go for like $400, and you can get the 7 for $3 something and change. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let me put this back in here. I've been charging it.
I've got a 4, and I never use it.
Really?
Yeah. I've even set it up to be on top of my underwater camera housing.
Yeah.
And I've never. I don't really even know how to use it.
Right,
So,
right.
That's how bad it is.
So this is how exciting the show gets. We saw a white tiger, but now, of course, we're seeing Bree ordering food. It's his lunchtime again. I wonder if next time we do the show and you go out to lunch, Bree, you can take us somewhere more exciting.
Hey, Bree, do they have California roll on the menu?
Oh, sure they do. Yes.
So they serve
75
California roll in Kuala Lumpur.
75 cents. 75 U.S. cents.
Wow.
I was going to go to this all-vegetarian Japanese sushi place. They make all the sushi look like sushi, but it's all vegetarian. But I can't get a signal there, so I can get a signal here.
Why would you want vegetarian sushi? Why?
I tell you something. The other night I ate at a vegetarian restaurant that was a 1-star Michelin restaurant, and it's called Millennium. It's in Oakland, and I had a meal that was so delicious, and you would not know that it was all plant-based. It was just.
Yeah, but that's the point. I mean, why do you get vegetarian if you want something that doesn't taste vegetarian?
Well, it's not meat either. I mean,
it's so what if it's fucking meat? I love meat. Look at me. I'm about to turn 80 years old. Meat. All my life, meat.
What about the cancer?
I had to get to this age to get it, and then it's the most common cancer that an 80-year-old will get.
You might not have gotten it if you weren't eating all that meat.
It had nothing to do with meat.
I can tell them it does.
No, actually,
we don't have the Impossible Burger or the PLT from McDonald's here yet, and I would like them to come here. I don't care if they grill it on the same grill. I just want to have it, you know.
Well, I've had an Impossible Burger from Burger King, and it's got so much other crap in it that it's just as bad for you as the other stuff.
Well, they say that you know that I'm saying that I don't know it's
to me it's like why would you have coffee without the caffeine?
Yeah, exactly.
I never do.
You know, I mean, I went into years ago. I decided I was going to try and be a vegetarian. So somebody took me to this vegetarian restaurant, and they had vegetarian hamburger and vegetarian chicken and and I'm going, you're dying for a hamburger is what you're dying for. So eat a fucking hamburger. And by the way, prostate cancer can be caused by eating too much fat. Yeah. But that's not the reason I have it. The reason I have it is because I'm 80 years old.
You know, I don't know why.
If I have it.
Has anybody told you why you get prostate cancer?
I don't know if I have it yet. I'll know tomorrow.
Why you can get it?
I'm sure I probably have it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have it because 8 years ago I took the test and the guy was very worried, but he put me on some drug, began with an H or something.
Heroin.
And whenever I took the drug, no, it's like I can't remember, but the drug made me really aggressive and mean. So I stopped I stopped taking it, and I was so busy getting set up in Dubai that I never went back and got anything figured out.
Yeah.
But the guy was very worried for me.
Yeah.
And I have trouble today, so.
What is your PSA?
I'm just ignoring it all.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if you don't see me one day, you'll know.
Nah, it's slow.
Oh, let's see. What are you having now? What is that? This.
He's eating with the things too. That's hard to do.
I'm very bad with chopsticks, by the way, but
I can't eat with them damn things.
I can't do it either.
Are those shrimp with the head?
I just get a damn fork.
No, it's shrimp with the head, I think.
But you get the little fingers.
No, they're called chopsticks.
This is crab.
Oh, it's crab? Crab.
That's what forks are for.
Hey, Tony,
Fork.
what do they call Chinese food in Queens?
Chinks. My mother's got it tonight. We have leftovers in the refrigerator. Want me to show you the leftovers?
By the way, folks, I did not say that. Phil didn't say that. Nobody here said that. And Jeff didn't say that. Did you, Jeff? No.
My close friend Michael.
That was Tony.
Yeah, my close friend Michael was engaged to a Chinese, half Chinese, half Hawaiian gal, and they were together for several years. And so one Sunday he says, "Hey, let's go for Chinks." That was the end of it. She was so pissed at him.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you something.
I was the same. When I was before grad school, I was dating a Vietnam, and there was in Central. What's the Grand Central? One of the Metro North station, is that Grand Central?
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway, there was a Vietnamese soup place down below. It was called Nem's, N-E-M. But I kept saying, let's go to Nam. And she didn't like that.
She didn't like that. Well, the thing is that when you say that, when like Tony says that, he's not saying that in a pejorative way.
No.
You know, it's just he grew up and that's what they called Chinese food.
That's what the Jews called Chinese food.
You know, just like Jewish food, you say you want to go out for some kike. You know.
We always did say Chinks. Always did.
Really?
He came.
Yeah.
We always
what
did.
I've often felt about words that we use, and you know, I'm racist because I'm white, but I'm basically not what you would call racist. Okay.
I'm racist.
Not like Trump is. Phil. Anyway.
Hey, I don't. If you invite me to respond, I will.
But the thing is, I think that when you use those kind of terms, it's a question of intent. What is that?
It looks good.
It looks good. What is it? What is it?
Bree, what is that? No microphone.
He doesn't have his microphone on.
Yeah.
It's
That is.
Huh?
Salmon.
Salmon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's one of my favorites.
You know, Shecky and I go for sushi a lot out in Queens.
But he's having sashimi.
We go to a place called Minato's, and it is just it's a buffet of sushi and all things sushi related, and it's like that.
Yeah. What time is it there, Bree? Is this breakfast?
I'd say right now it's 11:54 in the morning, isn't it, Bree?
Oh, so he's having lunch. No?
What time is it?
12:54.
It's
okay,
1:54.
So it's almost 1 o'clock. So he's having lunch. But the Japanese eat this stuff for breakfast.
No, I'm running a little late on my lunch today. That's why.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. What time is it there? Did you say 1:54?
He said it was almost 1 o'clock.
Oh, it was almost 1 o'clock. Okay. Because usually during daylight savings time, it's exactly a 12-hour difference, right?
I just got the bill.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much was this lunch?
Okay, how much is this lunch going to cost you?
$5.
What a deal.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. How are prices?
What's the conversion from American U.S. dollar to? So it's $1 to 4 renka.
Renka.
Yeah. Here's my stuff that I got. See.
Is that dessert?
Yeah, that's dessert.
Oh, I gotta take the.
You're breaking up on us, Bree. You're breaking up on us.
Me?
Oh.
Yeah, they deliver. I was going to take the plate. That's how they figure it out. This is salmon as well.
Anyway, we got about 2 minutes left, so what do you all think about the hearing so far?
I'm enjoying it.
I don't think he had any herring.
In 2 minutes or less. What do you think of the hearings today?
Who do you want?
Anybody see the debate at all?
I missed.
No, you didn't see it. You see it?
I heard that there were easy questions that MSNBC was giving them. They were kind of feeding them softballs.
Really? I heard Buttigieg did okay.
Buttigieg did
and
okay.
Booker,
and Biden stepped all over his weenie, so he's probably going to be done pretty soon, I think.
Booker, after his performance, raised $650,000 yesterday.
Oh, that was good. Well, Buttigieg, supposedly yesterday, they were all gunning for him, and he handled it beautifully, is what I hear.
Yeah.
I think there's a good shot at him being the nominee. A very good shot.
And your buddy from New York, Bloomberg, he's registered. I don't know what state he
forget
registered.
it. I don't want it. What do you mean my guy Bloomberg? My guy isn't Bloomberg.
He's from your hometown there.
Well, of course. So are you.
Well, I was born there, but I consider myself more a San Franciscan than
we don't.
New Yorker.
We don't. We San Franciscans don't consider you a San Franciscan. Huh?
Yeah.
Then, in fact, we deny your existence when anybody asks.
Hey, I could just say I'm Mexican and I could be a San Franciscan.
You're very Christ-like, Phil, because we deny you 3 times. But anyway, hey, listen, we didn't talk politics at all tonight, except when I brought it up at the very end for the fun of it. But whoa,
and
it was
I
too
didn't
loud.
fall for it.
That was too loud. I had it up all the way, and it was too loud. That's the first fuck up I've made tonight. Well, we're finishing off here with Bree having his lunch, and Phil, glad you got your stuff working, and Kevin, always great seeing you, Kev, and of course the lovely and attractive Tony. It's wonderful to see you, and Jeff, finishing off with you there. That's kind of like our citizen panel for tonight. Any last words anybody has? Huh?
I wrote the damn bill.
Okay. And by the way, we'll pick up the check.
Send it over to Alex.
Send it to me, and I'll pay for it. Pay for lunch. Hey, everybody! It's time to wave a big goodbye. I'll wave back at you. Yeah, there we go, and there goes our citizen panel for tonight. Get lost, you guys. Okay. Anyway, that's it for our show tonight. Up next, over most of this same GabNet, is The Intersection, featuring Jack Bishop and you and your calls. So why not join him? We'll see you again tomorrow night, same time, right after Damien does his show at 9:30. We'll be back again at 10 o'clock Eastern time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. See you later.